Let me guess, you've had some incredible periods in your life where you've been extremely disciplined and motivated, but for some reason, it just never lasts. You end up falling straight back into your procrastinating ways and your bad habits. Maybe you find yourself lying on your bed and just scrolling through Reddit again, or perhaps, you just are in this mindset of not even wanting to do the hard work. And you just think, why can't I just stick to the habits that I know are actually good for me? Why don't I always have that unstoppable mindset where I'm constantly driven? And I get it, I've been there. But let me tell you this one secret that's actually helped me to be able to stick to my habits, even when I've felt extremely lazy. And quite frankly, it all starts with having some accountability. And in an ideal world, that would be through having the correct network. You'd be able to hold your friends and the people that you work with accountable, and they'd be able to do the same thing for you. But the thing is, in today's modern world, that isn't as easy as it could be. And that's why you need to actually hold yourself accountable. And this is also a lot harder than it could be in life. And to make this easier for you, what you want to be doing is tracking your habits, and the best way you can do this is through a self-accountability tool, which is a bit like a habit tracker. And I've actually made this very easy for you because I've created one and I'm giving it to you for free, and you can download this from the description below. Using this tool is an absolute huge step to ensure that you stay productive even when you cannot be asked to do anything. Trust me, I've been using this now for a little while and it's changed my mindset and my life completely. Now, I remember the absolute feeling of dread that I had after my second year of university, and I remember sitting down in my room whilst sat on my chair that was just absolutely filthy because the amount of people that had used the same room as me in the years prior, because obviously when you're in university accommodation you just keep using the same rooms over and over again. Anyway, the fact of the matter is I was sat in this chair and I'd received my results for my university grades and exams that year, and I honestly felt terrible. My heart was racing so much, and it's pretty much because I knew deep down I hadn't been putting in any work. I was doing all the worst habits possible. I wasn't even going to the gym. I wasn't eating the correct food. My nutrition was actually terrible, to be honest. And I was drinking all the time. I was going out. I was sleeping late. I wasn't waking up early. And my mindset was all over the place. I didn't even know about meditation. I didn't know about journaling. I didn't know anything about that. And as you can imagine, when I opened that piece of paper, I looked at the results and they were terrible. I'd pretty much just about passed. It was actually the worst grade you could get other than a fail. And it was, not good enough in my opinion, and it made me feel terrible, and I knew I had to change it. And going into third year, I'd completely changed my mindset. I had to hold myself accountable, and I'd learnt about this because of my mistakes. I knew that I had to start doing the good habits, and I had to start doing them regularly. And in order to do this, I had to set myself some rules, because without these rules, I wouldn't have had any means to stay accountable, because I had nobody else that was going to keep me accountable. I had to do it myself. And these rules that I set absolutely made sure that I stayed to the plan, and I did that even when I couldn't be bothered. So let me give you an example of some of the rules that I'd set for myself. For a start, I'd told myself that I wasn't actually going to be going out and drinking anymore. So when my friends were going to do that, I'd have to make it a rule that I'd stay inside and crack on with work. And that might sound quite sad, but at the end of the day, when you really want to achieve results, you have to do big things like this. You have to commit. I'd been through such a bad experience with the results in the year previous that I had to change it. I couldn't continue living in that way. So after having this entire year where I was completely disciplined and committed and was sticking to these good habits, I reached the same moment again where I was sat in my chair and I'd received my examination papers. Now obviously, once again, I was still too scared to look at this piece of paper because of my trauma pretty much from the year before. But when I opened it, I was absolutely gobsmacked and of course delighted, because I was able to have achieved the best grade possible from university. I'd gone from having borderline a pass to the best grade possible. And from this, I learned a massive and valuable lesson, and that is that, when you stay disciplined and you do the things that are actually going to make you succeed even when you don't want to, you can achieve incredible things. So here's the advice I would give for you. First of all is to not be too strict on yourself. I know I just said you need to be extremely disciplined, but the fact of the matter is I believe that life is all about balance, and life is for living. I think in order to have a fruitful life, you need to be disciplined 90% of the time, and the other 5 or 10% of the time you can go out and have a good time. And by that, I don't just mean go out and get absolutely blackout drunk, but if you don't have this kind of lifestyle, you'll very quickly burn out. It's not sustainable to stay committed and disciplined 100% of the time, at least in my opinion. And unless you want to live like a monk, which I'm pretty sure you don't, then I just wouldn't recommend doing that. The second thing I'd suggest is to actually just be more intentional as a whole. So by that, I mean, if you're telling yourself you're going to work, then actually be present with that. Actually work. You don't want to be unfocused, because that's just a waste of time in every single scenario, basically. If you're going out to have a good time, don't be thinking about work. Actually be present and enjoy yourself. And if you're supposed to be working, actually sit down and work. The third thing I'd suggest is to absolutely know your reasons why. Why is it important for you to be disciplined? Why is it important for you to work hard? Because if you know this, then that's what's going to allow you to stay consistent, and not give up on this, right? Because things take a long time, right? It takes a long time to become successful, and quite frankly, consistency is, the true builder of success. And the last thing I'd suggest you do is try to find people that you can surround yourself with that push you in the right direction. Now, I know what it's like. It's actually sometimes very difficult to find people who can push you in the right direction, and that's why I really want to help you with this. So, if you are somebody that doesn't know too many people that can help elevate your life, then what I'd suggest you do is actually apply to work with me, and you can do that from the description below. There's a link in there that says apply to work with me, and from there I will personally review your application, and if I think that we're a really good fit and that you're actually serious about this, I will do whatever I can to help you and elevate your life. Let's grow together, my friend. So all in all, believe you can, and you're more than halfway there.